It's rumored in 2023 this could be the year for Illuvium and GameFi, when the masses finally get their hands on a AAA experience giving players the ability to use cryptocurrency as the game's economy. And while 2023 has already started, I thought I would wait to get my hands on Illuvium 0 before making this video to give a proper top 5 wish list of things I would like to see in a future update or changes made before the game is released to the public. Now, I don't think I'm alone in some of these things, as they have more appeal and fun factor that I admired when I first experienced them, but hopefully when the major changes happen in the future, then governance will kick in with the community directing the progression of the game, which will be interesting to see how it all plays out. But for now, this is my top 5 wish list, and if you agree or not, put in the comments what you feel you would like to see instead, and maybe we'll get lucky and the developers will implement these things in a future patch. It's no surprise to me that Illuvium 0 has been such a success. I literally played this for hours and the team nailed it with its own unique feel and user experience that's so addicting. However, after playing Clash of Clans for many years, I understand with the more you upgrade, this causes your base to become more convoluted with lots of buildings and objects you have to constantly rearrange to optimize the effectiveness of it. And while I feel this will eventually be implemented in Illuvium 0 in a future update, it's nice to speed things up and recommend a wish list in the form of an edit button. Similar to Clash of Clans base edit mode, this allows you to remove buildings and view the base as a clean slate before placing each object precisely the way you want it. And of course, as a YouTuber, being able to remove stuff, place them back individually helps out with thumbnail department. Vermi was one of those characters that when people saw it, they thought it was terrible, literally. And in ranking videos, before we could even play it, it ranked way at the bottom on a lot of people's lists. The look of it suggested it wasn't very strong. However, because it looked like an obscure character, I decided to rank it higher, at least in the B tier. And surprisingly, when we played it, because of its size and its dodge ability, it was very difficult to kill. In fact, the name suited it perfectly. It was a vermin. I believe it was too good, and after some updates, I believe it was nerfed a bit so that it matched its stage as a level 1. However, I fell in love with Vermi ever since. The name design was dope, and then Overworld came out and it became Vermilia, which is nice, but I liked Vermi. Verminio is dope too. And if I could change one, I would drop Vermilia and keep Verminio as a stage 2, and since it's short, fitting, let's make Vermi great again as a stage 1. These last few wish lists, I'll keep them short and simple because I don't feel they are major changes, but would be nice if they are implemented back into the game. The first one is the atmosphere of Brightland Steppes. I love the pink haze from the trailer and fell in love with the color scheme. I really understood Kieran's view on how they wanted to make games more vibrant and impacting for players rather than a boring, flat, dark hue that most games go with. However, after watching the development of Brightland Steppes in some of the interviews with the other developers, I didn't see that color scheme and wondered if it was in fact removed. Only time will tell if that's the case, but on my wish list, I would like to bring it back because that was such a cool color for Brightland Steppes. Affinities really made or broke your run in survival. Getting to hyper was the biggest deal. Also, having placement of your rogues to be positioned right behind scions was also a precision tactic that I implemented in my gameplay. However, this was patched because rogues would get stuck outside the arena. With the new updates, the focus has been more on augments, which changed the style of the gameplay. Now, I've done an interview about this very topic, and a lot of new stuff we got in terms of early, mid, and late game, everyone seemed to agree was better. However, for my wish list, to bring back some of the things I liked on the first survival beta, to bring back more focus on affinities and hyper mode, which was really come down to character knowledge and placement aspects of alluvials, more specifically rogues where I could predict them to go. I wanted to bring these changes back because affinities was really fun, and getting the hyper mode because I knew a water type would leech from that character really made it interesting, and the placement of rogues. I feel these two things I would like to see in a future wish list if we could revamp it. The last wish list would be for Illuvium 0. Now, Illuvium 0, I really can't say all the great things about the game. It's so fun, and I think a lot of people are going to probably play this over Survival or Overworld. I think the team nailed it, but since this is competing against Clash of Clans, which I saw in an article, then there are two things I would like to see in a wish list future update that I think could make the game even better. The first thing would be when you collect resources or fuel from the containers or the collectors, then I would like to see them all collected from every fuel source so that we don't have to individually find them and collect them individually. I think that would make it a lot easier for players. The second thing would be for the camera positioning. Right now, when you collect something from the fuel sources, the camera repositions to that fuel source, taking you away from your initial position on the camera, and you have to kind of find, that area where you were to relocate the building you were about to collect from as well. I would like it so that whenever we click on a building, the camera stays positioned where it is. This gives us more control over the camera, and having response times, I would, make them faster. How they are in Clash of Clans, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a builder, based person, bringing that experience into Illuvium. And I can understand if you guys don't want to do that. However, I would just like to see these quality of life things that I think would make the game better. But if you guys agree or don't, let me know in the comment box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Put down what your top 5 wish lists would be. And guys, again, I had a blast doing this. Thank you again, and I will see you on the next episode.